talk about Twitch and
Yeah.
Serato first. And
Yeah.
how this all come together and why Serato? Why are we at Serato? How you end up on the Serato Twitch platform?
You know what? I think it was a combination of right timing
Uh-huh.
and something the culture actually needed. I was doing, during the whole quarantine thing, Chris Diamond started his Clash platform, Major Hype had his, and there wasn't really one in the UK where I'm currently residing. So
Okay.
I tried to do one in the UK, and it started to really pick up and started to take off. And so I was like the European version of what they was doing over in the United States.
Gotcha.
And then Fire had his quarantine clash. So at the end of his quarantine clash, and at the end of my season 1 of my online clashes, me and Walshy spoke, and we was like, it'll be really dope if we all merged and did something together.
Nice.
That same platform. So we was, throwing around ideas, and then out of nowhere, Walshy says, hey, Serato has come up with this idea of doing the same thing that we just spoke about. In the midst of all that, Chris Diamond had just coined the phrase "No Jing Bang." In the midst of all that, so everything just fell into pieces. Where Serato was like, "Listen, I'm loving that No Jing Bang formula that English Fire and Chris Diamond is doing. I'm loving that whole vibe." Walshy was like, "Yo, let's do an online clash series. Call it the No Jing Bang, and let's involve all of us, and we all host it and make it a big platform." It was literally right timing, right space, right energy, and everything just fell into place. And I'll say the puppet master was Walshy.
Absolutely. The timing was impeccable. The timing,
Yeah.
and I've been preaching for years. I've seen what's going on in the business. I'm like, for clashes in the future, I think we need more of a tournament. I think we need tournaments. I think tournaments to add more structure to the whole business, bring everybody together. Now you have the idea of guys all over the world could just link up and do it. Where before, it was so complicated to organize and pull together.
Yeah. And I think the concept of Profit Fresh from Canada, Chris Diamond, New York City, Walshy Fire in Jamaica, myself over in the UK, and then we added Mattia from Warrior Sound of Eastern Europe. It basically, we have conquered the 4 corners of the globe. We've orchestrated and make sure that this tournament wouldn't be a Caribbean tournament or a European tournament or a Canadian. It will feature sounds globally that some people may not get to see on an everyday basis, or maybe one of their favorite young sounds, but because of COVID and quarantine, you can't get to actually see them and get that energy that you would want in a live clashing setting. So I think the whole concept was absolutely perfect. Hats off to Serato. They gave us a great platform and a great vehicle to drive this and move this culture forward, and that's where we are now.
I agree. It's a great way to drive the culture forward. Also, I think it's a great way to drive new sounds, because I think for a long time, the whole thing just kind of bottlenecked, where for new sounds to like make it through that gate, it was virtually impossible. Only a few would slide through here or there. Now we have exposure. And we have sounds like, Coalition Sound out of Cayman Islands, who I think nobody would even have really had the chance on a global, scale to see. And I think that's a bad sound. I think they kind of got a little, caught up in the whatever. It's a bad sound. I've listened to some of this is a bad sound. And I think going forward, not only sounds like Coalition, you got King Von in Canada. A lot of sounds are going to utilize this, because I think the platform is right, the timing is right, so it feels right.
Yeah, and that's one of the main things. When we was coming up with the concept, it would have been very easy for us to call Soul Supreme, the King of D's, and these big worldwide heavyweight names, and throw them on this big platform. 99.9% of the DJs or sounds that play music use Serato software.
True.
Right? It is what it is. So, but we wanted to highlight, there's no way we're going to move the culture forward if we keep using
The same old people. Same old, because that's been happening for the last 20 years.
Right. So we wanted to make it a mixture of new sounds that people haven't heard, mixed in with some sounds that you may have heard of, and some names that you were familiar with, but you may not have seen. So that's why we like Tech Nine. Tech Nine is a global brand, but a lot of people have not seen Tech Nine. You may have just heard of them because of their longevity in the business. You may have just heard of a cannabis because you may have, because of antique, but you may have never seen an actual or hear their audios. You may have just heard of the name. So, drawing for sounds like Trifle Tunes, Amar, King Vower. These sounds, in Canada, King Vower may be popular. Yes. But nobody in the UK or in Europe would have heard of King Vower.
New York, they're right next door.
Right next door. Unless you're in Sound Clash business hardcore, you wouldn't really familiarize yourself with the King Vower and Coalition. So we figured getting some of these sounds on this platform would only drive the culture forward, and that's exactly what Serato wanted to do. They wanted to move the culture forward and be a part of that, and we figured out a way to make that possible and utilize these new sounds and really, really push the culture forward. Because a lot of these new sounds, listen, they are bad.
I know. Wait a second. I know. Let's talk about these new sounds and how bad they are. Let's talk about the first round of the No Jing Bang series. You kicked off with Tech Nine versus Splendid, where I lost because I bet on Splendid, and I had to look Tech Nine basically in the eye and let him know I bet against him. But I made a promise I never ever betting against Tech Nine again. That was a big kickoff. The first round, you guys came out the gate, and that was a big way to start it.
Yeah, and that was kind of like, even when we was doing the draws, right? We put everybody's name in like a big hat, and we started drawing names, and make sure that when we drew the names, if something didn't look right, we put it back in and was like, all right, let's do it, scramble up lotto style, pull it, and let's go. Tech Nine versus Splendid, on paper, it looks one-sided. But that's because people don't know Splendid.
I know Splendid.
Right, you know Splendid, but Splendid was not from, like, a lot of sounds or a lot of people on different sides of the globe was not familiar with Splendid. So there was like, Tech Nine. And we're sitting there like, this is exactly what we wanted. David versus Goliath. And then David is going to show a different side to what you may think. And even though Tech Nine came out victorious, Splendid gained a lot of notoriety and a lot of fan base, and people really opened up their eyes to the whole platform. I said, wow, wait a minute. I can't call these clashes one-sided anymore. It's not as easy as saying, oh, I know that sound, so they will win. So that's why I think the first round was absolutely the right way to kick it off. I thought it was absolutely amazing the way we kicked it off.
A lot of surprises. Like, we have a big surprise. Last clash we had Unruly Stumpy versus Amar. Nobody thought Amar would throw Stumpy.
Nobody thought. Everybody in New York thought, that's a wipeout. Unruly Stumpy wipeout. And I knew Amar's capability. I knew Unruly's capability, and I knew, the different styles of sounds were very interesting the way it plays out.
Wow, let me tell you something. That clash was something else.
Yeah.
I have people telling me when I tell them, Amar won, they're like, really? I'm like, yeah. They're like, how did that happen? Because I was watching first round. Well, like, sound clashes is not about how you come out the gate. It's about how you finish. Exactly. And they finished strong.
Exactly. Yeah.
They finished real strong, and especially around where I see it's basically becoming, this is it, the combination round. Let's talk about the combination round. How did that play into, like, we have to have a combination round 45s? Because this is becoming a decisive round.
Let me tell you what happened. When we was going over the idea, I said, I wanted to do something different. Walshy Fire had his question and answer in quarantine. I said, that's cool, but it's been done. There's like, let's do a vocal round. Nope, it's been done. I said, I've got a good idea for a round. I said, let me get it out, and then you guys tell me what you think. I said, I want to have a combination round, but without dub plates. I said, the reason being, there's a lot of songs musically. There's so many songs that you can find combination that you could never ever get on dub, and it will make every sound really decide, how am I going to select? Let me get creative. Let me dig in my box.
You gotta do some homework. You have to do some homework.
Because I said any genre. Soca, hip hop, salsa, merengue, rock and roll. There's so many things that you can do. I said, I wanted all the sounds to get creative. Get creative, and it leveled out the playing field. It leveled out where you may be dub plate heavy. How is your selection? How are you as a DJ? We know you got money. That's cool. That's good. But how are you?
It never hurts.
It never hurts. But how are you at entertainment? How are you at selecting and finding that rare song? And I said, you know what? This is going to be very interesting to see where these sounds go. So the combination round is really, really good. But we've got something special for the semifinals.
You got something special. You can't tell me you got something special and not give me something English.
Let me tell you what I can tell you what it's not going to be.
Tell me what it's not going to be.
It's not going to be combinations, and it's not going to be 45s. So now I'm making it. I've made this round again more selective. I want to see your selection. I want to see how you are at entertaining. Again, having money is good, but people want to get on this platform and be entertained.
Absolutely.
And I feel like making some of these sounds get creative and really dig will bring across that entertainment value. So in the semifinal round, look out for that special round, because it is gonna be something never been done on any Clash platform. Never been done.
I'm excited.
In person,
you got my adrenaline pumping already by just hearing about it.
Listen, it's gonna be a game changer. It's gonna be a game changer. And when you hear when we present it, people are gonna sit back and wow. Yeah.
I'm looking forward. Let's talk about wow. Let's talk about No Jing Bang second round.
Yep.
What are you most looking forward to from the second round? Because we know it's about to get tense. It's already started getting tense. The second round, what are you looking forward to?
What I'm looking for now is that killer instinct. Now I'm looking now. What we haven't really heard was a lot of customs. We heard a lot of sounds kind of feeling their way through the rounds, which was good. Now they know what's expected. Now they know what's at stake. Now they're one win away from getting that final round. I want to see what they're gonna bring. I want to see them up the levels, and I feel like the sounds that have made it through, it's gonna be interesting, because the first matchup,
Tech 9 and
Trifle and Tech 9. On paper, people got Tech 9 on paper, but I want to see what Trifle is going to bring. That's going to make Tech 9 up his game.
Well, to be honest, Trifle to me is already running behind, because I think with Coalition, they got what they won with Coalition. I think they got what they won.
Right.
Also, they made, the MC made some, somewhat loose speech in the first round, and I know Tech 9, and Tech 9 will not let him forget about it. So to me, he's already running a little bit behind. You like Tech 9 Trifle for the second round clash? I am personally looking forward to Cannabis and Amo.
That's going to be exciting. That's going to be energetic. I think you hit the nail on the head with this one. Amar versus Cannabis. that's going to be such an interesting clash. Like, I speak to cannabis regularly, so I know what they're preparing. I speak to Amar, and I know that they are a different animal in this tournament. So just knowing that, I know when it gets to their turn, yeah, it's going to be no
cannabis. Speaking of cannabis and speaking of creativity, I'm Antiguan. I'm not I need to start flying my Antiguan flags, but yeah. I go about it in the sense that even they know, and they know, and one of the things I'm not biased, because you get your behind kicked. I will let you know. I'll look you in the eye and let you know you got your behind kicked. Like last week, I put my money on Stumpy. I lost because I end up voting for Amar because I'm like, you got wiped. So I'm looking forward to cannabis and cannabis creativity as far as writing customs. Right now, it's on fire. The kid is on fire. I think he's just about to hit his prime. I think the settings are right. The time is right for him to run away with this whole thing.
Yeah, and that was one of the reasons why when we was picking names, I said, you know what, cannabis. It would have been easy for me to say Stonewall, or it would have been easy for me to go with the regular 3/7. There's so many sounds I could have got from Antigua, but I felt like there was one sound that is on the cusp and just needs that little bit
100%.
to get
100%.
Yeah.
From what I know, the cannabis team, you're talking about Glenn and Stinger and Jelly Belly. Man, these guys have been working, and they've been they've been itching for quite some time, because I think they feel like they've been overlooked in a lot of respect.
Right, yeah.
They just wiped the floor with Stonewall. So right now, I know he's flying high, and I know he's coming, and it's for all the marbles.
Yeah, like I said, I think a lot of things regarding this tournament, right time, right place, like even getting cannabis involved in the clash, right time, right place. They had a couple of things that was going on, and it just, things just fit, and it's just working. It's working, and I think what they're bringing to the platform is doing exactly what we wanted, the thing to do, which is drive their culture forward,
bringing some new fans along, bring some
new blood, bring some of these corporations and some of this corporate to look at it and say, you know what, this looks exciting. How can we be a part of it? How can we help move this thing forward? And there's no better company than the software that we use to play these dubs. We use Serato. We all use Serato. So what better partnership than with the brand that we all use? So I think that was absolutely perfect. I think the sounds that we've got so far for season 1 is doing the job, and I think this is going to be the semifinals are going to be really, really exciting. Really exciting.
Speaking of corporate, and we know how corporate company are. We have a brand to protect. We have an image, such and such. What kind of, rules or whatever has Serato says, hey, you guys got to be careful with this? What kind of parameters have they given you?
They've given us the same guidelines that all social media platforms will provide. Okay. So the certain social statements that every social media platform has in their guidelines, we have been given, and we have passed that on to the sounds. We are on a professional platform, so conduct yourself professionally. But Serato knows what sound clash is, so they want the entertainment value, but they don't want to do it at the behest of their brand. And that same thing we want. We don't want them to provide entertainment at the behest of their brand, but we don't want to water their brand. So we just, advise every sound, do what you do, but understand the perimeters that we are, understand that the parameters of all social media sites, social media platforms provide, and they all have guidelines. Operate within those guidelines, and let's do this. And, the sounds have taken to it. There's little slip-ups here and there. We've had to go back and say, guys, remember where we are. And I think that some people may feel like we're holding them back, but I see it as this is evolution, because we should be able to play and say more things than that we've been playing and saying for decades. Like
Absolutely.
if we don't evolve our thought process, involve our speeches, involve the way we cut our songs, then we stay in the same place we've always been. We want to move
We have
forward. So
seen that. We have seen what happened when you stay in the same place you've always been.
exactly,
We've
exactly,
seen what happened.
exactly. Yeah,
My one rule of sound clash is, you know where the line is. Don't cross it.
yeah, yeah. Simple. That's very simple. That's it. That's it. That's it. That should be on every flyer, on every clash, on every platform. You know what the line is. Don't cross it. And that's what it is. That's what it is. That's all it is.
Speaking of line rules, let me ask, what's the rule? Because I'm a little shaky on this. I'm thinking a lot of people. What's the rule on the G sum? Where is that? Is that allowed or is it not allowed?
Okay. We said it's not allowed, right? Verbally from the MCs, we don't want that to be, to us, that is dated conversation. That's a dated argument. It's very, very dated. It's very easy. It's a cheap forward. It's cheap.
Always has been. Always has been.
Always has been. And at this point, it's 2020. Like, enough now. Like, come on, guys. There's so many words in the dictionary, so many sentences in any type of vocabulary that you can use. Evolve. So we've taken that out of any of the MC's guidelines. But again, being from that sound clash culture is embedded. So you're quick to.
Well, let me tell you something. There's a time and a place. There's sometimes you need to throw one out there. And when Tech Nine threw his out there, I think that woke up the whole industry. But that's the other thing.
Yeah, but see, the thing with Tech Nine, like I said to Tech, I was like, Tech, you didn't really say it to them, so kind of said it to somebody else that was in the chat. It's a great area there, Tech. That's a great area.
Let me ask you a question. English, you have me excited. You talk about evolve, innovation. What's the future? Online clashes. Where are we going with this?
I think the future is, I think we have a space for this type of platform. I think we have a space where we can actually do these type of online entertainment clashes and bring people into our world that normally couldn't get to our world. I think this is a way to bridge that gap. I see the online clashes as a bridge from here to there. So I think we are providing that type of entertainment that a lot of people want to see and can do it safely and comfortably from the confines of their homes. What I do want to see is more engagement. I want to see us get more people involved, more sounds involved, more patrons involved. I want to see a way where that we can, right now traveling is not happening. It's just not happening for the foreseeable future. That being said, having the finances to do flying a sound and get these clashes done is just, we're all going to be recuperating this for a long time. I think this is a way where we can all figure out how to do what we love to do in a space that, has given us this platform to do it in a cost-effective way.
You mentioned finance. You mentioned finance. Is this finally where sound starts to make some money? Is this where monetization finally comes in? Is this time where these sound stars finally get paid?
Yeah. I think this is another way that sounds can start to receive some income, and I think that's what we need. I think we need to build the platform, and then see the financial residuals that can come from that. Because pay-per-view online clashes is still very, very new. It's very, very new where somebody will pay to watch a clash from within the confines of their home. But I think there's a place for it.
There is.
And
there absolutely is.
Yeah, and I think that monetary value can be filtered towards the sounds. And I think that is another avenue of income for these sounds.
I agree because, I passed 40. I'm on the right side of 40, and I have no desire to be in a dance at 4 o'clock in the morning standing up. So if I could pay I'd pay $15 for a decent clash. Depends on the lineup, and I could be nice and home in the winter. I would pay for the entertainment values, right? I would pay, and I think there's a lot of people out there who would pay.
Exactly, and I think so too. And I think it's just getting everybody to see this is a way to drive the culture forward, and realize, in anything, you have to take a loss first to make a gain on the other side. And that's where I need everybody to understand. For us to move forward, it's not just going to be an easy process. It's not just going to be we snap our fingers and everything is right tomorrow. There's going to be, failures. There's going to be success. There's going to be a little bumps in the road. But if we have the vision, then we can see the success.
If you build it, they will come.
That's it. Exactly.
I'm sorry. DJ English Fire, I'll give you the last word.
Saturday. Every Saturday, tune in. No Jing Bang Serato clash. It's the way forward. It's the way forward. And the statement is no Jing Bang.
My statement is, who's getting their teeth kicking this Saturday?
I'm gonna stay neutral.
I tried. I'm
gonna stay neutral on that one. But I think it's gonna be very entertaining. I think everybody, bets up, put your bets up, and forward and witness a really good, entertaining clash.
DJ English Fry, we're gonna leave it right there. This Saturday, Twitch, Serato, No Jing Bang. Big up your boy Chris Diamond. He's out there doing some hustle. Washy Fire, Profit.
Always, man.
English, give thanks.
Thanks, man. Bless up, man. Every time, yeah?
Yes,
no
I. One love.
Oh.
Bless.